Hello YouTube, Van Prepper here. This is going to be a review on my Chinese Type 56 SKS rifle. This rifle is just I say all my rifles are fun to shoot, and they are, but this rifle is exceptionally fun to shoot. Any of you who own an SKS know what a riot these things are. My SKS, this Chinese one, is pretty beat up in the stock, a lot of gouge marks, a lot of character in this. You know, I like to think that these are war marks, but who knows. You know, one of my favorite things about surplus rifles is the markings that you get on him, or on these things. Here I've got some set of numbers on the stock. I don't know what that means. There's a very unique thing about the SKSs, and that is that on the butt pad, this opens up and you can put your hand right in. If anybody knows why that is, I would love to hear. I've never heard an explanation of that. And one of probably my favorite part of the SKS, besides that it fires an excellent round, the 7.62 by 39 round. These things can be had a box of 20 rounds of Tula ammo, 7.62 39 steel case, non-corrosive. We had for just over $5 at Walmart. But one of my favorite things about the SKS is very possibly the coolest bayonet in the history of military surplus rifles. This bayonet is just B-A-double-D, A double crooked letter. I mean, this thing looks like you would not want to be on the receiving end of a shank from that at all. Not that the Russian ones or the Mausers or anything else looks appealing, but holy cow, this thing just looks awesome when it's extended. This rifle shoots, it has a 10 round attached magazine. You can find stripper clips for these really cheap. You go on eBay and you can find 20 stripper clips for quick loads. You know, just really cheap. I have 20 or 40, I don't recall which. They're really easy to take apart. It's just, I'm not going to go into all that now, but easy to take apart. The one thing you have to watch out for on these is you have to be diligent in your cleaning of the bolt. You know, disassembling the bolt, taking it apart, because the SKSs, if you don't clean them properly, they have a free-floating firing pin, which means if you wiggle the bolt back and forth, you can hear the firing pin going back and forth. Now the problem is, if you wiggle it back and forth and you don't hear that going back and forth, you're probably in position for a hang fire, or hang fire, that's my Mauser. A slam fire, which is when you pull your bolt back, load the weapon, and then rack it forward, it's going to fire. You have to make sure you clean the bolts on these things really good, really well, because you don't want to get into a slam fire situation. They will scare the bejeepers out of you. I personally have never had that happen, and I don't have any friends who have, but boy, if you watch videos of people with slam fires on YouTube, it looks pretty scary. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. This rifle, the Type 56, is the Chinese rifles. I think have a tendency to be a little bit more beat up, but you can get SKSs, you know, in just much like the Mosin Nagants or any other surplus rifles, in you know, such different levels of cleanliness and preservation. My first SKS, one of my great regrets is that I do not have that SKS anymore. I sold it last year, right before everything went crazy, and you know, I just really miss it. I got for $150 about 6 years ago. It was beautiful. I mean, it looked like a brand new rifle. It was, oh goodness, somebody help me out. I want to say the possibly Turkish, but it had the grenade launcher on the front. I picked that up at a local sporting goods store. It was, I think, my second rifle, but my first military surplus rifle, and oh man, it just looked great. And it you know, those things, you can still get them, and they're not terribly expensive now. They're a lot more expensive than the $150 I paid, but they're not terrible. These things are so much fun to shoot. One of the coolest things about these is when I first looked up an SKS to decide whether I wanted to buy one, I found an article called that was titled SKS, the choice of revolutionaries everywhere. And that's a pretty good tagline to hang on your rifle. If you're going to have a rifle, you know, and you can get a tagline that goes along with it like that, take it. This is the SKS, and if you talk to anybody in the service, any of you guys who have been in the service, my brother-in-law just got back about 4 years ago from a tour in Iraq, and he said they took a lot of these rifles off of people in Iraq, and that this is definitely the choice of revolutionaries everywhere. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope if you have an SKS, you enjoy shooting it as much as I do, and enjoy the 7.62 39 caliber round as much as I do. Not a lot of kick to it, just a lot of fun to shoot. This is my video on the Chinese Type 56 SKS. I'm Van Prepper. Happy shooting.